Are you looking to get more clicks on your listing using Amazon advertising? In this video, we're going to talk about click-through rate percentage, what it means to you, all of the different ad types and how that impacts click-through rate percentage, a bunch of different factors, and how you can improve your Amazon advertising to get more clicks and more attention from shoppers. So stay tuned. If you're new here, my name is Mike Zagari. I am the creator of PPC Entourage. I want to welcome you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because every week we come out with a video to help you improve your Amazon advertising. I've been selling on Amazon since 2015. I'm the creator of PPC Entourage and Entourage Management Services, and I am looking forward to sharing our knowledge with you. So click on the subscribe button and let's dig into this video. All right, so you might be wondering, what is a good click-through rate percentage? So before I answer that, I wanna make sure that our definitions of click-through rate are the same as yours. So essentially, click-through rate is a measurement of how desirable your ad is to the shopper. So let's say you have an ad that's shown 1,000 times to 1,000 different Amazon shoppers, and 100 of those shoppers click on the ad. So 100 into 1,000, that would be a 10% click-through rate percentage. Now that is a really high click-through rate percentage, but essentially that tells us that our ad is really desirable, our product is really desirable to that audience. Now, what is a good click-through rate? Back in the day, we used to say, in general, if you're around between 0.4 and 0.8 click-through rate percentage, then you're in a good ballpark range. And if you look at the last month using the data that we see inside of PPC Entourage across all of our users, you can see that the average click-through rate percentage was around 0.4%. And yes, it did go a little bit higher. Now, if we look at the trend over the last couple of years, you can see that it's been between 0.3 and 0.4%. And more recently, it's been trending a little bit higher, which is a good thing because the higher the click-through rate percentage is, the more relevant our ad is to shoppers. And that could be just that the targeting that sellers are using is better, or it could be that Amazon's algorithm is just more relevant and putting more relevant ads in front of more relevant shoppers. So let's dive into this. What is a good click-through rate percentage? Now, it really depends on the actual ad type. Ad type matters. So think about it this way. Sponsored product ads are lower in the funnel. So in these types of ads, shoppers are more likely to make the purchase, more likely to click right away, as opposed to sponsored brand ads. Also, sponsored product ads look much more native to the shopper and much more organic than do the sponsored brand ads or the sponsored display ads. So you have to take that into account. Sometimes, like if I ask my family, do you realize that this is an ad? Most of the times they're not going to notice that it's an ad. They're going to think it's an organic placement, and they're more likely to click on that because it's not an ad. So ad type does matter. And in general, sponsored product ads have a higher click-through rate percentage than sponsored brand ads, which have a higher click-through rate percentage than sponsored display ads. So just to reiterate that point, I'm looking for a grill brush, and you can see here that the sponsored brand ad that shows up at the very top looks very much like an ad. It's got a headline, it's got a call to action, shop this product, and it even says sponsored right over here. Now, the sponsored product ad, of course, says sponsored as well, but it looks very much similar to the organic ad that shows right at the bottom of the sponsored product ads. Now, in terms of what is a good click-through rate percentage, ad placement 100% matters. This could be the biggest factor. Obviously, the top of the search is going to have a higher click-through rate percentage than the rest of the search, than the product page, and the remarketing. Now, if we go into Amazon and we take a look at this, you can see that the top of the search, when I type in grill brush, is this real estate right over here. This is going to have the highest click-through rate percentage. If I started going further down the page and I had advertisements further down the page, the click-through rate percentage drops dramatically. And then when we get on to, let's say, a product detail page, the click-through rate percentage for these ads that show up over here are dramatically lower. And then the lowest tend to be the remarketing ads. Now, these are the ads that show up off Amazon and try to bring shoppers back to Amazon. That's going to have the lowest click-through rate percentage. And just to illustrate this point, check this out. This is the click-through rate percentage over the last several months. And you can see that the very top line is for top of search, and this is above 4%. Now, if we were looking at the averages before, the average was 0.4%, but the top of search, the really good locations up at the top over here, are near 4% and trending higher. So that is fantastic. And then it falls off a cliff. So check this out. This line here represents rest of search over here at less than 1%, hovering around 0.8 to 0.9%. And then we have detail pages and remarketing kind of neck and neck at the very bottom here, where you're gonna have much lower click-through rate percentages. All right, so how about match type? Absolutely, match type matters when it comes to click-through rate percentage. Obviously, the exact match type, if you're going after highly relevant keywords, is going to have the highest click-through rate percentage, followed by phrase match. You know, you're probably going after relevant keywords when it comes to phrase match, but phrase match allows Amazon to mix and match or add you to other search terms that may not be as relevant as the exact match. And then of course, modified broad, and broad gives you the most amount of exposure, but the least amount of potential relevancy. So then your click-through rate percentage will go down as a result. And just to illustrate this, check this out. This will show you how the exact match has a much higher click-through rate percentage than the broad match. So exact match is sitting up at around 0.5%, and broad match is sitting at around 0.3%, and phrase match is sitting nicely in the middle at around 0.4%. So what is a good click-through rate? Relevancy absolutely matters. And if you are going after brand keywords, if a shopper likes and trusts your brand and you're targeting those keywords are probably going to have the highest click-through rate percentage, followed by the highly targeted keywords, the keywords that you already know convert really well, that are super relevant to your product. Those are going to have the second highest click-through rate percentage, and then followed that by the discovery-based keywords. Now, these are the keywords that you're not quite sure. You're testing audiences, you're seeing what works, what doesn't work, and as a result, you're trying to get that exposure, but your click-through rate percentage is going to be much lower. So relevancy absolutely matters. And in the same sense, what you target with product targeting really matters as well. So if you're targeting your own brand ASINs, obviously those are going to have much higher click-through rate percentage as compared to the converted ASINs. Now, these are the ASINs that you find from the search term reports. That's still going to have high CTR percentages, but not as high as the brand ASINs. And then behind that are going to be the refined categories, where you're targeting other different categories. You're targeting categories, but the ASINs within those categories, that's not going to be as good as potentially the converted ASINs. And then following after that is the research-based categories, where you're just kind of testing to see which categories stick and which ASINs stick. This is very much in the discovery phase most of the time, which means your click-through rate percentage is going to be traditionally a little bit lower. So how about the buying cycle? Now, we speak a lot about the buying cycle, and this is going to be sort of in reverse. So if you're going after shoppers in the post-purchase phase, once again, these are shoppers who already know, like, and trust you, and you're serving an ad to them, your click-through rate percentage is traditionally going to be much higher. And then following that, the decision phase. Now, this is going to be for shoppers who are really in the mood to purchase, they're ready to purchase. We serve an ad to them at the very top of Amazon. That's still going to have a very high click-through rate percentage. And then we have the consideration phase, where shoppers could be browsing, they're looking for a deal, they're looking for their best option. They may click on yours or they may click on your competition. So your CTR percentage is not going to be as high as the decision phase. And then finally, we have the discovery phase, where shoppers may not even know that they are interested in your product, and we're just trying to get it out there. Of course, we're not really going after people who are highly targeted or looking for your product. So the CTR percentage is likely going to be much lower in that example. All right, so that begs the question, how do I increase my click-through rate percentage on Amazon? And there's just so many things that you can do, and I recommend making small incremental changes, but let's dive into it. One of the first things that you can do, obviously, is tweak your title and your Amazon main image, because these are the first two things that shoppers are going to really see, and they're going to really focus in on this. You want to make sure that your image is something that's different and totally unique. If you have like something that worked several months ago, there's a likely chance that your competition has copied you. So make sure you go in there periodically to see, does my image look different? Am I capturing the attention of the shopper? This is something that you're definitely going to want to split test. You can use a service like PickFu, where you can see which image resonates more with potential shoppers, but definitely try to switch this up and test your click-through rate percentage by using really unique images that really pop and stand out. Similarly with the title, we want to make sure that we don't have an overly spammy title. So titles that have like a bunch of filler words where you think you're getting a lot of search volume because you're filling in the need of the algorithm, shoppers can notice that, they can see that. So you want to make sure that you have a very clean title, something that really calls to the benefit of the actual product and really draws people in, as opposed to just serving up a title for the benefit's sake of the algorithm. All right, so another way to definitely increase your click-through rate percentage is to have badges and coupons. So when you go on Amazon, you can see, here's an example of a coupon that shows up right over here. And this really can help draw the attention, especially when the coupon is sizable. It really helps. Also, badges like Amazon's Choice can really help. And I know you can get that on an individual search term level or keyword level. So going after those different opportunities can really help improve your click-through rate percentage. All right, next, obviously reviews and price do matter. If your price is astronomical compared to your competition, your click-through rate percentage is likely going to go down because shoppers are maybe not interested because it's way out of their price ballpark. Similarly with reviews, if you have less than stellar reviews, let's say 2 or 3 stars, or you have less reviews compared to your competition, this is going to have an impact on your click-through rate percentage, as shoppers might be deterred from clicking on your product. So now let's dive into how you can improve your advertising, specifically your advertising click-through rate percentage. And one of the top ways to do this is to really swarm your competition with all of the different ad types that are available and then simply get more brand awareness. Now, if you have brand awareness outside of Amazon and people are looking for a product that you sell, that really will help as well. If you don't have that, then utilizing Amazon advertising, getting your sponsored brand ads, your sponsored product ads, and your sponsored display ads up there just to get more real estate can help improve your click-through rate percentage because you're taking over the real estate as compared to your competition. And this looks like something like this on Amazon. When you are searching, you can see that the sponsored brand ad shows up at the very top. If my ad was to show up over here, and further down the page, maybe in a video ad, now people have seen it a couple different times, and my click-through rate percentage could eventually go up as a result of getting more exposure and more real estate on the page. All right, so the second way to improve your click-through rate percentage with regards to Amazon advertising is to have a compelling video that really captures the attention of the shopper, or a compelling image or copy that really captures the attention. So spending time on your ad creative can really help to improve your click-through rate percentage. And here's an example here of a really good video. It's black and white, in a sea of color. There's a video here that's black and white, and then it turns into a colored video. This guy's wearing a beard. This is really going to, capture the attention. Now, you can spend time on lifestyle images. Custom images really are beautiful on Amazon, but having a good headline, a good image, a good video can really increase your click-through rate percentage. Just make sure that if you have a really good ad creative, that your listing is just as good, because you want to make sure your conversion rate is going to be just as good as your click-through rate percentage. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of money with your Amazon ads. All right, the final tip to increase your click-through rate percentage using Amazon advertising is to build an army of relevant ads based on search term. Now, what does this mean? This means that you're going to have to get very creative, but also you're going to have to get very specific on the customer search term. So check this out. I typed in grill brush here, and you could see that grill brush is in the actual headline copy over here. So this is a very specific ad, but I challenge you to go into your search term report and find some of these search terms and make advertisements that have these longer tail search terms in it. Be very specific to what the shopper is actually looking for. There's going to be that relevancy, that connection, and that's going to increase the chances that someone's going to click on your ads. All right, everyone, I hope that you found value out of this video. Make sure you make some small incremental changes to your listing and to your Amazon advertising to increase your click-through rate percentage and get more sales this year. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you all next week.